Hey there, retail enthusiast. I'm Isha Dalal, Solutions Architect at AWS.
And I'm Claudia Howlett, Enterprise Account Manager. We're coming to you from Sydney, Australia.
Welcome to Retail Insights with AWS, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of retail, uncover the latest trends, and explore how AWS is transforming the industry.
From the aisles to the cloud, join us as we dive under the hood with industry leaders and AWS retail experts. We will explore the latest trends in customer experience, supply chain optimization, data-driven decision-making, and much more.
So grab a cup of coffee. You're logged into Retail Insights with AWS.
Today, we're stepping into a world that feels like home to so many of us, the world of bookstores. There's something magical about walking into a Dymocks bookstore. The smell of fresh pages and the warmth of their shelves, the thrill of discovering a story that you didn't know you needed. Bookstores aren't just retail spaces. They're cultural sanctuaries, places where stories come to life and connections are made.
And at the heart of Australia's book culture is Dymocks, a brand that has been inspiring readers for over 140 years. With its iconic flagship store on George Street in Sydney and a network of franchise locations, Dymocks is redefining what it means to a bookstore in the digital age. Today, we'll explore how they are blending tradition with innovation to keep that magic alive.
As we talk about bookstores and their incredible evolution in today's retail landscape, they're no longer just places to buy books. They've become cultural hubs where stories and people and ideas come together. Despite the rise of e-commerce, 72% of shoppers still prefer buying books in stores for the tactile experience and joy of discovery.
But it's not just the nostalgia driving this resurgence, it's innovation. The global books market is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 4.2% through 2030, and omnichannel strategies are playing a huge role in this growth. Research shows omnichannel shoppers spend 3 to 4 times more than single-channel shoppers, blending online convenience with in-store charm.
So how do bookstores strike the perfect balance between technology and traditions? That's exactly what Dymocks are doing, blending the warmth of in-store experiences with digital innovation to create unforgettable moments for book lovers everywhere. Joining us today is Will Sanderson, CIO of Dymocks, and Chafic Abdallah, Head of Architecture and Transformation, who'll share how technology enhances the joy of browsing books in person, supporting their franchisees, and creating seamless experiences for omnichannel customers. So grab a cup of coffee and let's dive in.
Welcome, Will and Chef, to Retail Insights with AWS today with us. It's good to see you here. So let's start with some introductions. Can you please give a brief about your role at Dymocks and your experience around the retail industry? And also for our listeners who are outside Australia, what Dymocks is and its rich literary legacy that we have, and why is it such a favorite spot for all the Australian book lovers?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, and it's lovely to be here. I'm Will Sanderson. I'm the CIO at Dymocks Group. Dymocks is an iconic brand in the Australian market. We've been trading for over 145 years since the first store that was opened by William Dymocks on George Street, pretty close to the site of where we are today on George Street. And we're a business that has grown with modern Australia as it's grown as well. I've been fortunate to work with Dymocks for just coming up for 4 years now. Prior to that, obviously, I started my career in the UK, but I came out to work for Woolworths about 11 years ago. I had a number of years with Woolworths, which is obviously a great grounding in Australian retail. And then I've also worked for a number of multinational technology companies in between, including Dimension Data and the NTT Group before joining Dymocks.
Chef.
Thank you for having us. And similar to Will, I've been in Dymocks for 2 years. I head up the architecture and transformation, which is really involving anything that takes the systems and technologies to transform the business capabilities at Dymocks. Before Dymocks, I was with NTT for around 15 years. It's a global integrator that delivered a lot of technology services and solutions to the retail industry, amongst other industries as well. Yeah, and like Will mentioned, Dymocks is quite a unique and awesome Australian brand that offers a lot to our customers, and glad to be part of this journey with Will for the last 2 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Will and Chef. And it's such a pleasure to have you on with us today. I know one of my favourite experiences when I first came to Australia was walking down George Street and seeing the large Dymocks sign, walking into such a wonderful experience of a bookstore, and just the magic of being able to take books off the shelves and just being immersed in that literacy culture. I think that's something that's really unique to Dymocks is your in-store experience that you have, and enhancing that with your omni-channel capabilities. And just with working with the two of you, your focus on how you can bring your online experience and take your customers in-store is something that's quite unique into Dymocks, rather than just enhancing both from that capabilities perspective. So if you can just talk to us a little bit about your omni-channel strategy, Will, and how that helps to get your customers in stores for your franchise experience.
Absolutely, no, thank you. We are a business that is absolutely grounded in our bricks and mortar stores. It's so important to us that there is a physical bookstore where, young or old, you can walk into and get that experience, smell the smell of a book, the tactile nature of a real bookstore, being able to speak with people who are knowledgeable and passionate about those books, who can recommend books to you, who can guide you, and whether it's just books or also gifts, which are also an important part of our offering. But it is, if you are a bibliophile, going into a physical bookstore is a magical experience, and we take that responsibility very seriously, and it's something that we're really focused on preserving and making sure that there's still physical bookstores available to our customers in the next 145 years as well. Now, to do that, we've obviously got to make sure that we embrace technology changes and the ways that customers are going to change their shopping habits over time. And that's really where omnichannel comes into its own. So we've been doing lots of work over the last number of years, looking about how we combine our digital experience with our in-store experience to try and make it as seamless as possible experience for our customers. Now that ranges across many different aspects, but I think the key thing for us is we want an experience where customers can shop how they want, when they want, where they want, at any time, day or night. And if you're at 2 a.m. and you're trying to buy the latest book, you can do that in your pajamas. But equally, if you've got that precious half an hour in your lunch break and you want to go in and flick through a beautiful coffee book and be inspired for something for yourself or for a loved one, then that experience needs to be there. And so omnichannel for us is all about how we make sure that customers have the choice, and that we make that experience as seamless and as easy and as pleasant for those customers. And ultimately, wherever we can, help guide a customer into a great store experience. Because it is a real challenge to replicate, the smell of a book.
Oh, for sure.
You can't really do that online, not yet. I'd love, if I find a way, I will. But so there's always going to be limitations in the digital experience for a customer compared with the in-store experience. But at the same time, we can offer things online that we can't offer in store, and one of those is the range. We pride ourselves on our ability to source and provide those difficult to get books for customers as well. So again, being a premium omnichannel retailer means that our service needs to be great, and it means that our range needs to be extensive, and it means that the passion that we have in store, as far as we possibly can, is reflected in our digital channels as well.
Yeah, look, I think in terms of omni-channel serving your customer, Dymocks have a really unique model in that you've got two customers, you've got your franchisees as well. How does your omni-channel strategy support your franchisees with that in-store, your online serving into in-store customer experience?
Yeah, no, it's a really important aspect of our business. We are a franchise business as well as a company owned a business, and for that, the important thing is that we want to, wherever we can, if we can make a sale online but drive that revenue and that customer into store, then that's a win for the customer and it's a win for our stores as well. So first part of that, a number of years ago, we managed to bring in click and collect, which, was very important for us and certainly was vitally important as we went through COVID. That's was a real turning point for us as a business, but also, the real connection from an omni-channel perspective of actually making a tangible sale online, the revenue for that sale being recognised in a store, supporting that store in its sales, and also making a really great and convenient service for our customers. So that's one of the first things. Is our website is not there to compete with our stores. It's actually there to enable and support our stores. So it's a very important kind of philosophical and also business imperative for us to make sure that we get that balance absolutely right. And that kind of guides all the other omni-channel aspects that we've been looking at, things such as ship from store. So again, we can make the sale online but fulfill it from a store, and again pass that revenue to the store to be able to fulfill that sale for us. And that has lots of customer benefits. It also has lots of benefits for our store network as well. So those are the real things that connect from a philosophy of having an omni-channel strategy to an actual plan that is just embedded into your business. And so when the customer can make an easy choice, when we take full advantage of our network, our inventory, and the passion that our store owners have for hand selling that book to customers, then you've got a great winning combination.
I'm so glad you talked about not only that omnichannel strategy, but also about the experience of feeling the book, like turning those pages in the bookstore. Because when I go with my kids to Dymocks Bookstore, that's what we love to do. And one of the great part of that is your stores are not only like any retail store. It's a very open area where you can sit, where you can go through it. It's a very welcoming in-store experience with the bookstore. And I want to dive deep on the franchise business that you just explained, because I saw that the franchise business you have is a very unique approach from what we saw from other retailers. Is also about, it's not a siloed approach or a centralized approach. It's a very decentralized approach that you guys do with your stores, your franchises having the ability to earn even from your online sales or click through and all that. How does technology play a part in this? Chef, how does that franchise business and your website and your own stores, how does technology supporting all that in behind?
Yeah, and that is the challenge, is that how do you preserve this rich in-store experience with that look and feel and smell and touch, to your point, and how do you actually get the technology to not disturb that but accentuate that and have a pleasant experience for the people coming into the store, turning better revenue for the franchisees, but having a much better experience and compelling experience to the people to keep coming back. And to us, we don't want to disturb that part. We actually want to accentuate that part. But how do you do that with technology? And so we were always focused on these touch points that make it much harder as part of this experience. And if you really take a guess, it's paying, it's checking out.
Yeah.
You just want them. You want them be in the store. You want them into the different open spaces, browsing a book, sitting down, having coffee, and do whatever they want to do to feel that pleasure of touching and feeling and smelling a book. So to us, our key focus on that, with different technology advancements and business capabilities underpinned by these technologies, to do things like queue busting. How do you go in the store and how do you not queue up on the way out? I mean, ultimately, we'd want to do just walk out kind of experiences. But also being in a heritage buildings in most parts and whatnot, the technology is kind of prohibited by the constraints of heritage building. But we are introducing and working on deploying these business capabilities supported by our technology stack for things like queue busting. So you can literally spend the time that you love and pick the things that you love and just walk out and be served by any of the staff members on the floor that will be able to just check you out. And send you out without waiting in that endless queue that you typically kind of face on a daily basis. So we are really laser focused on these business capabilities that makes a difference and do not disturb that kind of what our customers keep telling us, that we love coming to Dymocks because of the layout, because of the smell. We want to preserve that. So technology is on the pain points as part of that checkout experience.
Just sort of diving deep into the technology piece, there's so much that you do from like a customer-facing perspective, but underpinning that, there's so many different projects and bits and pieces that connect each other to be able to give that unique experience that Dymocks has. Just touching on what Will had mentioned about just the sheer amount of SKUs that Dymocks has as an organisation, it's crazy. You've got editions, you've got the different volumes of the books. There's just so many infinite numbers of SKUs that you guys have. And working with you over the last couple of years, you've gone through a massive transformation with your sort of technology from a back-end perspective to be able to provide the right customer experience. And part of that was your product information management system transformation, or PIM transformation for short. Yeah. Coming back to you, Shaf, I'm hoping that you can just share a little bit more about the PIM transformation that you've undergone and what that means for showcasing your products to customers.
Yeah, with pleasure. Look, I have to start by saying, personally on this journey, it was my first day at Dymocks. And literally the first order was, we need to cut down costs. We need to cut down our infrastructure costs. So my head was I had to pivot from the transformation stuff into, okay, the first 3 months, I just want to unpack anything and everything and look at where we're spending in our technologies, especially on the infrastructure services and so forth. So the transformative part is on the personal journey is the relationship with AWS, because as you remember, our first meeting, we're spending too much money with AWS. Yeah. We need to peel back. And that started this whole PIM conversation. As I was pleasantly surprised with AWS culture on this front, when a customer comes in and asks for this type of help, there was nothing left. You guys bent backward to provide all the AWS resources, from FinOps all the way to modernization techniques and frameworks like ModX that you have, in order to unpack the different workloads and zero in on the business capability transformation that's going to pay off the biggest dividend for us. Therefore, the PIM transformation was part of that. And boy, was a complex scenario, because it was a discovery journey for both of us. Our PIM capability underpinned this complex omni-channel that Will talked about. We have 40 million products in our catalog. We sell hundreds of thousands as inventory products in the different franchisees and corporate stores. We've got tens of thousands of products in the warehouse, in stock, that we also manage. So any book that you can dream of is available to be purchased either in store or through our digital channels. And PIM underpinned all of that. So you can just imagine the integration part of this 40 million plus catalog and how we manage what is active and what goes through different channels, bricks or mortar or the digital channel. So that wasn't an easy path in order to transform that and have a 90% return on investment by actually modernizing PIM onto the AWS stack. That was quite a transformation journey. But to me, is the experience with AWS as I come in from a rich experience with the other technology vendor, but working with AWS was quite a transformative journey for me as well.
It was a great experience for us as well. We learned a lot about your business and what you do on a daily basis and the complexities around that. And like Will mentioned around that, you provide the premium books which are not available very easily, and provide that to Australian book lovers. But that underpins that 40 million books or inventory around that. How do you do that inventory management? Because you want to provide the books that customer wants, but you also want to put that discovery aspect. Because when I go to Dymocks, I don't buy just the book that I want. I go in and I discover, I walk around, and there's few more books that I like. I pick it up because it's just that experience as well. But how do you manage from inventory perspective to provide what customer wants, but also the discovery aspect?
Absolutely. So I think first I'd say just in terms of having the right inventory across our stores, we're very fortunate that we've got some brilliant and very experienced buyers in our organisation who, as with many people or most people really who work at Dymocks, are passionate book lovers themselves. So they are people who've probably grown up, Saturday jobs in a bookstore, and then probably studying literature, and then working the way up through various places. So first and foremost, the knowledge that our buying teams have and their relationship with publishers and authors is first and foremost. This isn't a commodity product. We're not stacking up tins and trying to sell them at the lowest price. It's about, not only buying the right products, but also trying to lead and guide our customers to new books and stories and experiences that we can see coming over the horizon, and we want to make sure are there and can put into our customers' hands as well. So having that relationship with our publishers, with our buying things is key in terms of getting the right product in the first place. The second part of that, to Chav's point, is about that long range. So, if you can't buy a book here or there, you should be able to come to us and find it. If it's in print somewhere in the world, we can get it for you. But Chav's point, that means that there's a crazy amount of SKUs we're managing, which means that the business rules, the data quality management that needs to happen around those, the prioritization of those things, just the pure processing of that information to make sure that it's in the right format, in the right quality, in the right place, it's accurate in terms of price, it's accurate in terms of inventory, and we might have, for one book, there might be 6 different ways that we could source that. So which one do we choose to give the best option and price and experience to a customer? So it's not only the scale of products, but also the scale of options for sourcing those products, all coming down to a single experience, be it in store or online, that says this is the fastest we can get you this product at the best possible price to give you a really great outcome. So, and all of that is underpinned by our PIM system. And also then enabled through our ERP and our e-commerce site as well. So, but PIM is at the heart of that. If the information isn't right, then nothing's right. So, and that's why the transformative work we did in replacing our old PIM system and rebuilding that on AWS has been fundamental to every other ambition that we have in terms of taking our business forward.
I think in terms of the transformative ways that PIM has been able to help just in showcasing and surfacing up and making sure you've got the right information at the right time to customers, just taking another step from that as well as, when I go into store, I'm a bit of a lazy shopper. And so I know when it's Mother's Day or it's Father's Day, I'm heading to those sections that have, here's the top recommendation and picks for Father's Day. As part of the technology that underpins these recommendations, can you give us a bit of a peek behind the curtain as to how these books surface up based on trends, based on the time of year and seasonality, just so the shoppers can get the right book at the right time?
Yeah, there are a lot of factors that actually influence that. So I have to say, based on the transformation we talked about, our business process and the people that look after the business is first rate. So we had that down pat from get-go. So we had our job much easier than someone going in doing transformation, and they have to look at the business process reinvention or re-engineering as part of that. So we had something that worked and worked for many years, but we had to build a technology that supports our business objectives with keeping us cost efficient, operational efficiency that comes with that. So the recommendation engine that we mention is actually built on technology that we employ at the digital channel front, but it also built on a really smart buying team and marketing team, and also team that looks after the books, the books purchase and the book sales as well within Dymocks Retail. So the combination of the people, the process, and the technologies allow us to tailor some of these kind of recommendations that you see in an offline manner in the bricks and mortar, and also that traverses to the digital channel that allows us to kind of combine the two in a unified manner. Ultimately, our ambition is to go to what we call a unified commerce world. Yeah, but we had to kind of tackle the foundational pieces with e-commerce, but soon to be correlated with the transformation we need to do in the stores for the bricks and mortar, and have one technology stack, arguably unifying that commerce experience for both in the store and through the digital channels. We're not there yet, but now it's just a combination of the people, the process that always worked for us, and now with the e-commerce transformation we're embarked on, hopefully that will accentuate a little bit of that, teamwork between our digital team and our retail team and our marketing team to come together and make that more efficient. But that's how we're doing it today.
I think that's what I love about Dymocks is it's not just the customers who's coming to your in-store and experiencing that moment or on the online, but also behind the scene how you guys work.
Yeah.
It's also the human element, the legacy that comes with this particular brand, and bringing the innovation into that, not taking innovation as head start and removing all the legacy aspect of it. No, it's combining that buyer's inputs, the people who have experience into that space with technology, and then uplifting that experience. Embarking on the same, because I know you guys are going on that e-commerce modernization and a lot more. How do you see AI? Because that's something that's revolutionizing all the industries across the globe. Would love to hear your input. How do you see that's going to embark or enhance that experience that you are currently doing with the use of AI, whether it's smart inventory management, personalization like you talked, or customer experience? How do you see that?
It's such a delicate balance that you've got to pick. We are, as I said, you're a business with soul. You're a business with customers who are passionate about the products and passionate about your knowledge and love of the product. To Chaf's earlier point, you can't swap out and do anything else but fail a passionate, knowledgeable person in a bookstore and give them an AI prompt saying, what book are you interested in based on an algorithm. So I think first and foremost, any deployment of AI has to be in the service of enriching and making that customer interaction easier, and the ability for our staff to serve those customers easier, faster, and more effective. So again, it's and that's not to say as a business that we're hesitant about AI. We're really looking at it every day about what options we can take to best take advantage of it, and there's a number of ones that we already have done. But we also need to make sure that as with any technology, however exciting it is, that it doesn't detract from the customer experience and it doesn't detract from the soul of the business. Now, obvious places where you can see it, again, back to the volume of our products, finding the right product, especially in the digital channels. When you've got 40 million SKUs, how do you even write the right search terms to get the right results to find that thing? So there's definitely opportunities there, I think, that are going to help us deal with the volume of data and how will our customers deal with the volume of data. So absolutely, personal productivity, that's I think that's a given. And most technology platforms are investing heavily in AI and bringing that inherently into the platforms and tools that we use to run our business, and the bigger SaaS-based services as well are obviously injecting AI into it as well. AI is such a powerful thing. With great power comes great responsibility, and we need to make sure that we don't open Pandora's box in ways that are going to not be positive for our customers or our business as well. So, I know it's a quandary that every business is wrestling with, has been for a number of years. On the flip side of it, just to sort of, I guess, an anecdote is one of the challenges we've had over the last couple of years is actually people training their AI and their large language models on our data, because we've got such a large amount of data publicly available. Then actually, part of our challenge is dealing with the amount of bots out there that are just trying to scrape it under all of the short descriptions of our books to train them on stuff as well. So it's a double-edged sword for us, I guess, but it's definitely an opportunity. It's going to disrupt our business like it's in the same way as e-commerce disrupted retail over the last 20 years. AI will come along and do the same. We've just got to pick the right path through it.
Yeah, and I build on that. For us, we know the foundational piece is data.
Yeah.
So we're absolutely laser focused on data and on governance as well. Because to Will's point, we don't want to open Pandora's box in the sense that we unleash this powerful thing without a proper governance with our data that will expose information that should not be exposed to people that shouldn't see or consume that part of the AI interaction, if that makes sense. So data has been a foundational piece for us for many months, and we've architected what we want to do with our data, and we've also implemented a data platform that allows us to build on that with an AI strategy that Will and myself have been working on that's focused on optimization, automation, and making efficiency use for our corporate users, but we will be more focused on our customers, and you touched on the recommendation part. And thirdly, with new opportunities, business opportunities that's going to bring to us as well. And that's the part that we're going to have to engage heavily with the business to bring them to the party in order to define what their business strategy is in terms of unlocking these business opportunities. It's definitely not going to be technology led or be business led, but technology supported as far as we're seeing. So we focus on the first two kind of pillars of AI. How do we make our life easier and better and more efficient? How do we focus more on our customers and have better recommendation engine? And our strategy from an AI implementation is built in first. We don't have an R&D team. We don't have developers. We leverage commodities and we leverage services that are powered by AI. So that's our kind of platforms, tools, and services selection first and foremost. And so and I know that we've been having this conversation with AWS. How do we bring in the business to lead that AI conversation to unlock business opportunities? And it's quite exciting to be part of that next journey as well.
Yeah, thank you. It's always been great to see the combination of both AI, but then business-led practicality, ensuring that your technology strategy is surfaced from the ground up rather than just letting, agentic models or AI take the role of a much-needed human-centered role. So it's always great to see that. I think in terms of AI from a Dymocks perspective as well, you've just got so much to be infused within all of your back-end data systems. And so ensuring that you get your data right from the foundation has just been so pivotal in terms of the strategy from there.
I think we are coming towards the end for today's podcast. It was so good to talk to you guys today. Thank you so much for coming today here. We love having you.
It was an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure.
To you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
It was incredible to learn the fascinating insights into how Dymocks is blending tradition with innovation. From reimagining the customer in-store experience to empowering their franchisees with cutting-edge technology to surface the right book at the right time for the right customer. It's clear that Dymocks is not just keeping bookstores relevant. They're redefining what it means to be a bookshop in today's digital-first world.
For our listeners, today's conversation highlights how innovation doesn't have to come at the expense of tradition. Whether it's using AI to personalize recommendations, creating seamless omnichannel experiences, or preserving the magic of browsing in-store, Dymocks is proof that technology can enhance what makes physical retail so special.
If this discussion sparked ideas for your own business or inspired you to rethink how technology can transform your customer experience, we encourage you to explore what AWS has to offer. From inventory optimization to omni-channel engagement, AWS provides retailers with the solutions they need to innovate and thrive. Visit aws.amazon.com/retail to learn more.
Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back soon with another episode exploring the latest trends and innovation shaping the retail industry.
Stay tuned.